Hey everyone. What a roller coaster. 7 days now without a drink. The reason I've been away for so long is because a lot of people in the comments said, go away for 7 days, focus on not drinking, and then come back and tell us how that's been. Because before I was kind of winging it and, without little success. So we're on day 7. I've obviously not uploaded anything for the last. It's been over 2 weeks now, which shows that I continually not relapsed as such. I had 1 or 2 days where I didn't drink, and then I went into a heavy binge where I was doing like 12 cans of that strong cider a day. I quickly went from 0 to 12, and then I felt horrendous the following day, so then I tried to do 8 and then 3, and but there was a turning point which I'm going to talk about in my next video, which is, it's an uplifting story for me personally. Maybe others won't take joy from it, but I try to compare it to how I used to be. And I said, allow me to enter this situation sober differently. That's a little bit cryptic. I'll explain in the next video, but I don't know. It was, for me personally, and for the people that are involved, and it's nothing outrageous, it's nothing extravagant, it's just something very simple that I was able to do without a drink that I would never have done with a drink. And it's something that people take for granted, something very, very simple, but it's something that meant a lot to me. It involves a chocolate cake, and we'll leave it there, but I'm gonna do that in the next video, because it hasn't finished yet. No, I don't know. It's a little bit cryptic. It's not meant to be, but... so let's go through the days then. Let's go through day 1. So day 1, Jesus. God, that was difficult. I think I tried to stay in bed as long as I could. So I didn't come off a massive binge on day 1. I came off like 5 or 6 drinks. So I knew that I wouldn't have that hangover feeling, but I knew that I would be dealing with kind of the mental side of it. Maybe not so much the withdrawals, but the regret, all of the mental issues that I have, that I've suppressed with alcohol. I knew that they would come like a flood, and they did. So day 1, obviously I woke up. I had a little bit of physical withdrawal. I was shaking a little bit. I wanted a drink from the moment that I woke up. I didn't. I stayed in bed till like 6 p.m. Just watching. You know what? I think over the past week, I must have watched 25 films. I couldn't tell you a single character's name or the plot or the ending to any of them. Your eyes are watching, but your mind is not taking anything in. It's crazy, really. So 6 o'clock, I stayed in bed till 6 o'clock, came downstairs, made some pasta, just some dry pasta and a bit of tomato sauce. That was literally all I had. Managed to get back to sleep. That's another thing with sleep. My sleep has been wild. It's been better. I've still been waking up, but for the first couple of days, for the first 3 days, I woke up and I felt like my dreams were a little bit more closer to nightmares, like a little bit more, I don't even know what the word would be. So for the first 1 or 2 days, I woke up and so I always keep my door open, right? We don't, well, I say we, there's only me that lives here now, but I don't close any doors, really. And there's a light switch, so there's a white wall and there's a black light switch. It's been there for 8 years. And I woke up on the second day and I swore it was somebody kind of peering round on the landing, you know, and I was like shook to death, and I was, you know, like panicking, like trying to get the light, and I hit the light switch, and yeah, it was just a black object on the wall, which was the switch. And then I thought I seen something in the bathroom when I woke up in the middle of the night. So the first day and second day, night times were, I didn't wake up wanting to end it, which is how I used to feel when I drank. I had very weird dreams. I had dreams about my ex, as you could probably imagine. I had dreams about people calling me out on my sobriety, which is quite ironic, really, because that is what happens in real life. And then I would just go into like almost nightmarish type of dreams. Day 2 was pretty much the same as day 1, but a damn sight easier. I didn't feel sick. This was more where my kind of physical withdrawals were declining and my mental battles were starting to really take over. You know, I have to get out of this house. There's far too much in here for me to think about, you know. You look one place and it just reminds you of so much. So day 2, pretty much the same. I ended up ordering food on day 2. So I wasn't bad enough to not eat, but I didn't eat till kind of 10 p.m. on day 2. But I probably consumed about 2,000 calories at 10 p.m. on day 2. Felt bad. Day 3 was a complete turnaround. Day 3, I felt really, really hopeful. I felt really good, really strong, really hopeful. I was like, this is it. You know, now this is where, so although I'd had the 2,000 calories, I'd actually dropped about 6 pounds in weight after the third day, despite having 2,000 odd calories of pizza. So now I was getting up at regular times. I was getting up normally. And I'd gone downstairs and I was making a coffee. And I was watching the kettle boil. They always say don't watch a kettle boil, but I was watching the kettle boil. And I had my cup. So I had my cup there, coffee granules, 2 sweeteners, and I'm watching the kettle. And it starts to boil. And a thought that came over my mind as it was boiling was to put my hand over the glass, pick up the kettle and pour the boiling water over my hand. You know, I keep having these really intrusive thoughts of doing kind of some damage to myself, you know. I had them as well when I was drinking, but it was when I had drank a lot. If I did a normal day of say 40-50 units, it wasn't so bad. If I drank a lot, I started to get kind of hateful towards myself. And then when I don't drink, I get hateful towards myself. And I think that's just a kind of a mental, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, you know, I think on day 3 as well. That was my first shower, by the way. So, for those that have followed the channel, they know that I do have a bit of OCD. I always like to keep the house clean and things like that, and I always do like to make sure I'm showering, brushing my teeth, etc., every day. If I don't do anything else. But I did go almost 3 days without a shower. And then when I went for my first shower, I went to pull the curtain back, and the curtain got caught on, I don't know, something. It wouldn't go around the kind of L bend that we have. And I pulled it once, and I pulled it twice, and then I just closed my eyes because I could feel the anger building. I could just feel it. It was like filling up I was going to say a pint glass there. That's obviously a reference to drinking, but and then I just grabbed it and I was like, don't do it, because just at that point I wanted to take the whole shower system down. I just wanted to fucking pull on everything and just break everything. So I didn't, because I stood back and I took a breath. I think I tugged at it twice, and then I think I gave it one last pull that was hard, and one of the clips broke from the shower curtain. And then I just kind of removed myself from the situation, walked back. But there was definitely some anger problems around day 4. 5, day 5 I had I made a note of this. This was like a paranoia thing. So I woke up, I think it was the fifth night, or it might have been the 4th night going into the 5th day. I literally woke up and I thought, because I could feel my heart doing this, right? And I thought, I'm having a fucking heart attack. So I reach over for my phone. I grab my phone and I'm looking, and it's like 3:15 a.m. I put my phone back down. I'm like, I'm having a heart attack, surely. And I was like, no, you can't be having a heart attack. So I close my eyes and I can feel it going. Anyway, I'm so tired, I end up nodding back off. I wake up about 45 minutes later, and I'm convinced, I don't know why, I'm convinced that I've got a twitch on the left side of my, or was it here? I think it was here. I've got like a twitch on the side of my face. And I'm then convinced that I'm having a stroke, I'm having a stroke, and I'm like, trying to remember what the acronym is for a stroke. So then I'm like trying to quickly pick up both hands to make sure that nothing's kind of dead, that everything's moving. And then I wanted to say something. I wanted to say something out loud, because obviously they say one of the symptoms is slurred speech. So I wanted to say something out loud, but I'm so tired that I know it sounds ridiculous, but I panicked because I thought I was having a stroke. But in the same breath, I was like, if this is the end, then it is the end. So I just closed my eyes again. It was like I was almost, I don't know, I was convinced I was having a stroke. But then in that moment, I realised the life that I had created, the life that I was existing within. And I thought, maybe if this is the end, it's the end. I don't know, it was weird. And then I received a text. So I think that's kind of where a little bit of paranoia set in. And then I had a text from my mum, right, later on day 5. And she texted me, and she put something that she would always put, So me and my mum are very friendly. We call ourselves mate, dude, whatever. You know, that's good. That's a good, healthy relationship, right? And I received a text about 11 o'clock on the 5th day. And it said, call me when you get a minute. And that's literally all it said. It said, call me when you get a minute. Now, every single text from my mum ends in a kiss. The same as when I text her, a little X at the end, a little kiss, right? The fact that she'd missed that kiss off the end, I can't even begin to tell you kind of the paranoia and the worry. I was like, what the fuck have I done? Like, what have I done, or what has she found out about? I think it was more about what has she found out about my past. We need to talk. You know, when someone texts you, we need to talk. That's about the most worrying text you can get. That's terrifying. And I overplayed that for ages, and I was like, I need a drink. I need to text her back. I need a drink. I need to call her. I need a drink. I need a drink. I need a drink. And then I text her back, and I said, "This is the thing, right?" So I text her back, and I put, "Hi, just briefly explain. I'm really busy." I wasn't busy. I was sat there doing nothing, but I didn't want to get the call. I didn't want to have to make the call. I wanted to know what it was about, because I was like panicking so much. And it was something silly. It was like, can you reset your auntie's laptop or something like that? It's just, you know, just because she'd missed the kiss off the end, I'd created this massive problem out of nothing. And the worrying thing about that is, what happens if that's a year from now? You know, so just not drinking isn't the be all and end all of this story, is it? I have a lot of work to do mentally. I mean, even now, I've got this book, I'm like doing this, I'm like pressing this, I'm physically, you know, it's the guilt and the shame. I am consumed with it. And I've always used alcohol as the medication for that, you know? And as I've drank and put myself in different situations, and I have put myself in very crazy situations, more alcohol is needed. And the cycle continues. But, you know, physically, because a few days ago, I had pains like what felt like were in my kidneys. And I used to drink to get rid of that pain, ironically. I mean, that's such a stupid thing. And then I had that pain for the first 3 days, which really, really hurt. And then we go a few further days and the pain stops. Funny that, right? You know? So, I don't know. There's a bigger hill for me to climb, I think, than just alcohol. You know, as I've said in a comment which got picked up quickly, is I don't, you know, doing days here, weeks here, even months. I'll never feel safe against alcohol, you know, or addiction in general. So that propanol that I take for anxiety, my dose is two tablets 3 times a day. for the first few days, I doubled that, you know. I was taking, oh Christ, what was my worst day? I think it was 15, 16 of those tablets. I don't know what the strength is. It might be low strength if I take 2-3 times a day, but yeah, I was taking like 15 some days, 16. So the problem for me, I think, is that I'm struggling to help myself. I want alcohol to take away the pain, or I want medication to take away the pain. And I recognize it, and I do think I'm trying, but I also don't think I am addressing the issues, you know, the root cause issues that I need to address. Because I just want an easy fix for everything. I want to take a tablet and feel better. I want to take a drink and feel better. You know. I've been going to AA, so that was my 3rd session of AA on Thursday. Still have said absolutely nothing. I just sit there. I just listen to stories. And I'm like, well, I could listen to stories on the internet, couldn't I? And the scriptures and things that they read, I couldn't tell you a single word that was said in that. I keep attending because a lot of people have said to me, just attend, and eventually you'll get it, and that's when the transformation starts. So I've done 3, absolutely nothing has changed for me. I've been online some days 2 or 3 times, a couple of days none at all. I don't know. It's like when people tell me stories, or when I hear stories in AA, I go, yep. Like, that's my response. Yep. Like, we've all done it. And, like I don't know. I mean, I want to drink right this second, you know. I want to. I need to. But looking at day 1, how I felt on day 1, if I drink tonight, that's how I'm going to feel tomorrow. And that is a big, big deterrent for me. That's a big, big, huge deterrent for me. I'm in this house on my own, seeing no one ever. This is the problem. This is the cause. It's got to be the cause. You know. I mean, now, even while I'm talking, yeah, I do this because there's a problem here. There's a real cloud here, and but I can't even begin to tell you how good I feel compared to last week physically. You know. I think about the days, right? And there's moments in every single day where I'm not joking. I put on some music and I feel like I've solved world hunger. I feel so good. I'm like, right, this is it. This is Rick 2.0. We're done. We're finished. That's it. We're gonna, you know, do good things. We're gonna have a good life. You know, we don't need this. We don't need this. And it's short-lived for me. It's just short-lived. There's a battle up here that I need to address. And I need to get out of this house. I need to get out of this house. You know, that was quite a miserable, it's quite a miserable thing, right? But I do feel good. Comparing to last week, I feel good. But there's something inside there that's that's gonna need a little bit of work, you know. I'm just getting out of this fucking house. But yes, that'll do. I feel good. I do feel good. But then the moment that I let my mind think, you know, I kind of go back into a little bit of a dark place. I think the fact of me being alone is definitely not helping the situation, and a lot of people live alone. I'm not saying that's a problem, but I need to be doing something, whether that's in work or whether it's some community work or whether it's something else. I don't know, but I need to be around people a little bit more because I don't do anything, you know. I just exist on credit cards and different things like that, making an already bad situation even worse, which is just the epitome of stupid. And I know that, yet I think because of the anxiety, I think to myself, if I go here, can I go there without a drink? And the truth of the matter is, probably not. So, all right. Anyway, that's 7 days. I'm going to stay relatively active now, I think, because I'm going to force myself into situations that I am uncomfortable with, and that can hopefully aid my sobriety. So, all right. I'll see you later.